Hi you guys. All right, well I wasn't gonna make a video. In fact, I've already started making what I'm making tonight for dinner, and then I thought, you know what, why not? Why not go on and make a video, because maybe somebody would like to learn how to make these. Tonight I am making spring rolls with peanut dipping sauce, and I started making these a little while ago because I was addicted to that pho place that they give you that broth with all the noodles in it. It's so delicious, and they bring the clear little spring rolls with the dipping sauce. Well, I wanted them one night and the place wasn't open. So I was freaking out, you know, because you want it and you're like, where can I get it? You're obsessed to try to get whatever you're craving at the moment. So I started watching some videos on how to make them. And ever since then, I just started doing my own little thing and tweaking the recipe here and there. And now I make them myself, and they're amazing. And the dipping sauce is to die for. So here's one that I already have together. And I thought, why not hop on and show you what I'm doing? So you're gonna need these rice papers. Now these rice papers you can find at any Asian market. You can also find them at Kroger in the Asian aisle. And they're kept like up toward the bottom shelf. But let me show you, these are so interesting. The first time I bought them, I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? It's like a Frisbee. Okay, so it's like this. It looks like a Tupperware lid. Sounds like a piece of plastic. And when I first got it, I was a little bit scared. I'm like, I don't know if you're allowed to eat that. I mean, like, how can this be good for you, right? But they're delicious, okay? I'm not sure how many calories these things are. It says non-GMO, gluten-free, no preservatives. What else? Let's see what it says on the back. It says calories per serving 50. Total carbohydrates 14 grams. Less than 1 gram of sugar. Okay, so whatever that means, I don't really care. I like them. I'm gonna eat it. So you take this rice paper, and I have like a little, let me show you what I have. I have this like little pan right here. Not so little, but I have a pan with warm water in it. And I just set it right here next to my sink. And I'm gonna take that rice paper and I'm gonna put it into the warm water. And I'm gonna give it like 10 seconds. So you're kind of just giving it a minute to get soft, where it will bend. In the meantime, let me tell you what I have. I have a bowl of pre-cut. I bought it in the produce section. It's cabbage, lettuce, shredded carrots. It's that bag salad. It saves me so much time. I just throw the dressing away that comes with it and use this. I cut up red peppers and orange peppers, cucumber, and cilantro. All right, look at, I left it in there for about 10 seconds, okay? Here it is. Can you see what it looks like? Okay, and now I'm gonna put it on this flat cutting board, just like so. Now, I usually make them strictly vegetarian, but I did get little baby shrimps for Robbie because he happens to like seafood. Me, not so much. I could do without it. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of my cabbage mixture and put it on there. Now, the only thing that takes a while with this is that you have to do them one at a time like that. It's kind of like, whoa, kind of like rolling doma. I just turned my stove on with my hip. That might be an indicator that I need to stop eating. I don't know. Now I'm gonna take a couple red peppers and a couple of my orange and a few slices of cucumber and put it on there. And I'm gonna take a couple of those baby shrimps and throw them in there. Maybe 2 to 3. I don't want to overload the spring roll. So now I've got it in there, and I'm going to take the side and I'm going to roll. You know what I think I'm going to do instead? I'm going to roll the top first because I think it's going to be easier. All right, so I'm going to take the top of it and I'm going to roll it in. Okay, I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. There, that's better. And now I'm going to take each side and pull it up. Take the side, pull it in. You can probably hear my kids outside screaming. Summer's here, almost. Okay, now I'm gonna take the other side and pull it in. Seriously, they have 2 volumes, loud and louder. This is what they do all day long. Like, I think they're dying out there half the time. I just went out, Ava was screaming. I was like, are you okay? Are you bleeding? What's wrong? Nothing, Mom. Seriously? Okay, now I'm gonna keep rolling it, pull it back. I'm pulling it like kind of back toward me and rolling at the same time. Pulling back and rolling. So I get a nice tight spring roll. That's it. Look at it. It's so cute. Look, can you see through there? You can see the shrimp and all the veggies in there. Now, all you have to do is make the peanut dipping sauce. Well, I have to go and make about 7,000 more of these and make the peanut dipping sauce. So I just wanted to show you how easy it is to make. So you take your rice paper, soak it for about 10 seconds until it's a little bit flimsy, you know, not too soft because it'll shred on you. So I would say no longer than like 10 to 12 seconds in the water. Pull it out, work on a flat plastic surface, something that it won't stick to. Buy you some pre-cut cabbage with the lettuce and carrots already shredded. Time saver, you don't have to chop it all up. Slice some peppers and cucumber, cilantro. You could put avocado in there, and you can do it with shrimp or without, it doesn't really matter. So that's how you make that spring roll. And now let me go get the stuff for the peanut dipping sauce, and I'll show you really quick. I think this is like the fastest recipe ever. Okay, so let me pause. Let me grab the stuff for the peanut dipping sauce, and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, I'm back to show you how to make this peanut dipping sauce. This stuff is so delicious, you guys. And I mean, if you just ate this plain, I would say, you know, no big deal. I mean, it tastes okay. But you add this peanut dipping sauce onto it and you got yourself a party, because this stuff is amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna start with a 1/4 cup of peanut butter. If I had a spatula, that'd be fantastic, but let's see, where did I put the spatula? Okay, 1/4 cup of peanut butter. Don't use crunchy peanut butter, use the smooth peanut butter, okay? And don't use the reduced fat. We're not playing games here, no reduced fat. We're going for it. We're going for some peanut dipping sauce. We're not doing that low-fat stuff. Seriously. Somebody's going to call the police. They're going to think my kids are dying. They are screaming at the top of their lungs. Oh, my gosh. All right, now, we got a 1/4 cup of the peanut butter in the bowl. Now we're going to add a tablespoon of hoisin sauce. How do I describe hoisin? If you've never had hoisin, let's see. Oh my gosh. It's kind of like it's so good. It smells like a barbecue sauce, but not quite so strong. It's more like sweet smelling, but it's really good. This is really good. And this is found in the Asian aisle too. You find this in the Asian aisle. And you're gonna do a tablespoon of the hoisin. Let me just show you what it looks like. Hoisin sauce, okay? And you're gonna pour 1 tablespoon of hoisin in there. That might have been a little over the tablespoon, just a skinch over. That's okay though. You're lucky I'm measuring it all, right? Okay, so now we're gonna do 2 teaspoons of soy sauce, all right? Classic Asian flavors with all the peanut and the soy and the hoisin. So 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. You could do the reduced sodium if you wanted to. This one's just normal. So I know a lot of people watch their salt intake, and you know, you could do the low sodium soy. And now I'm gonna do, you're gonna do 1 clove of minced garlic. So in my mind, that translates to like a teaspoon, right? Because I'm gonna do it like out of the jar instead of chopping it, because I'm feeling particularly lazy tonight. So 1 teaspoon of minced garlic goes in it. And then we're gonna do a teaspoon of sriracha. And the sriracha just kind of gives a little tiniest bit of heat. And if you wanted it even more hot, you could throw in some red pepper flakes in there and give it like a little extra oomph. But I think the sriracha is enough. So I'm gonna do a teaspoon of the sriracha, okay, into the bowl. And let's see, I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons of water now. Now, if it seems like it's a little bit thick, you can keep adding a little tiny bit of water at a time until it's a little bit thinner. So let's add our tablespoons of water. And it doesn't have to be hot or anything. It can be warm water's fine. Go ahead and put it in there. I'm gonna do 2 to start with. Just 2. 2. And just see kind of. All right, and I'm gonna stir it with this whisk. And it takes a second for the peanut butter to kind of break down, but you'll get there. And then you know what I do? I top it with chopped peanuts and green onions. OMG, it's so good. Now, if let's say I put this water in there and it seemed a little bit too thin, just add a tiniest bit more peanut butter. But honestly, it's a great consistency. I think it's pretty good. And if like it sat for a minute, by the time I end up rolling the rest of these, if it seems like it thickened up too much, I'll just add a little bit of water. Okay? Yeah, see, to me, as I'm stirring it, it seems like it's a little bit too thick. So I'm gonna add just another little tiny bit of water to it. I think I'm gonna add like another tablespoon of water to it. Okay? And thin it out just a little tiny bit. And I'll chop up peanuts and I'll put the peanuts on the top. But of course I have to taste it. You know, I want to make sure it tastes good before anybody eats it. So I swear I love this as a snack. One day Robbie came home and there was a huge platter. By the end of the night, they were gone. Okay, so, oh, this one has shrimp in it, which I'm not fond of. But anyways, I'll just eat the end. Okay, here we go. Peanut sauce. And I won't double dip, don't worry. Give me 1 minute. I don't even care that there's shrimp in it. I really just don't care because that peanut sauce saved me. It is so good, you guys. All right, that's spring rolls. That's the peanut dipping sauce. Easy. Now just chop up some peanuts and green onions, put it on the top. You're done. Now we have to make our honey ginger chicken, honey garlic chicken, whatever you want to call it, honey garlic ginger chicken, and our rice. So I'll be sure to come back and show you how to do that. But that's your spring rolls right there. Super easy. I'll be back. Hey girls. Okay, so I started this video yesterday and I kind of got sidetracked. It was like 8:30 and I kind of just was done cooking for the day and not in the mood to really finish up. So yesterday I made these amazing spring rolls and I meant to post that video along with what I'm going to show you today. So what I'm going to do is combine them together and post it today for you. And yesterday I just kind of I wasn't feeling it. So today I am back and we are going to finish. I started yesterday making Asian spring rolls and they're delicious, you guys. So my intention was that I was going to make the Asian spring rolls because Robbie really likes them. I love them. And then make, I was going to make a honey garlic chicken, but I've changed my mind and decided to make a really easy General Tso's chicken because a lot of you have expressed to me, and I've gotten a lot of messages saying, hey, we cook, you know, Chaldean food all the time. We want to learn things we don't make all the time. Sorry, I sound really stuffy because it's allergy season here and I'm dying. Okay, so excuse my stuffiness, but anyhow, we're gonna make some General Tso's chicken. And it's super easy. Now, there are more complicated recipes out there, but like, why do all that when you can make it just as good in a few simple steps, right? So I'm starting out here and I have just over 2 pounds of chicken tenders and I let them thaw out and I'm just gonna take them out of the plastic here and kind of drain all that excess water. And I set them in my sink because I don't like the chicken on the counter. It kind of grosses me out. And I like to keep things, you know, kind of clean. So I'm just gonna take the chicken fingers, the really small pieces of chicken, and I like these because half the work is done for you. You're gonna cut them up into chunks, so why not start with it almost done for you? So I'm just gonna take them and cut them into pieces, like, probably like that big, okay? And I'm gonna put them in this bowl right here. And what I'm gonna end up doing is cutting all of them up into those chunk-sized pieces, and I'm gonna add some cornstarch to the bowl with this chicken and coat it, and we're gonna end up sauteing it in a pan with oil and frying it up. And the cornstarch is what's gonna give it that like crispy texture on the outside. So I'm just gonna cut these up. I have a little bit more to go. I'm really weird about chicken. Like if it has any kind of like, see that right there? I can't leave it. I will cut it off and I'll get rid of that whole piece if I have to, but I don't like that hanging out on my chicken. Okay, so I'm gonna put that in a bowl and I'm just gonna keep going. I only have a few more to go. And we're gonna use about 1/4 cup of cornstarch to mix in with the chicken. So the spring rolls, you know, they are amazing and they're a great healthy snack. And my intention was to have that entire meal ready last night and post the video like I said for you guys. Well, I just didn't get around to it. And then we kind of ate all the spring rolls between last night and today. Robbie and I went for a really nice long walk today, and when we got home, we pretty much destroyed the spring rolls. So I guess we're just having General Tso's chicken and rice tonight for dinner. My kids really like when I make like Asian inspired food. They really like it, or Chinese or Thai food, anything like that. They really, really enjoy. So we're almost done. Let me get rid of that piece entirely. I don't like that or that. I just don't like it when there's like little, like, I don't know, little white things on the chicken. I just, like the tendons and stuff, I just get rid of it. It's kind of gross. Okay, cut this out right there. Get rid of that. Okay, so now the chicken, it's all cut up. I'm gonna get rid of these chickeny gloves. Get rid of that, okay? I'm gonna get rid of my cutting board because that's got chicken, and my knife as well, and get rid of that. So I'm gonna use a 1/4 cup of cornstarch and mix it in with this chicken right here. All right, so I use this kind right here from Kroger, from Aldi, wherever. I don't know, Aldi's, sometimes they don't have certain things. Like I went in there one day looking for cornstarch and she's like, it's seasonal. What the hell does she mean it's seasonal? Like how can it be seasonal? Like I only use it in the winter, or like cornstarch is cornstarch. You need it a lot. So anyways, I end up getting it at Kroger, and I make a huge mess, just like I do anytime I use flour or anything else. I get half of it all over me and half of it where it's supposed to be. Okay, so now you're just gonna take your bowl of chicken and your cornstarch, okay, and dump it in the top and give it a good stir so the chicken gets all coated with the cornstarch. And you can serve this, like traditionally it's served with broccoli, but you can do it with anything. I think if you wanted to even, I guess it doesn't make it General Tso's then if you do that, but like you could do red peppers with it. Any kind of like pepper combination and onion would be delicious. It's the sauce that I like because it's kind of got that little spice, but a little sweet, kind of like me. Little spicy, little sweet. Okay, so here we go. Now, look at this. It's all coated in the cornstarch. So now we're gonna get a pan out and we're gonna fry up the chicken, and we're gonna, once it's kind of browned and cooked in the oil, we'll drain off all the oil except for like a tablespoon, and then we're gonna add a few more ingredients. So I'm gonna pause, I'm gonna go get my pan ready, which I should have had ready, but I'm gonna go get it ready and I'll come right back. Girls, so now I'm back, and what I did is I put the pan on the heat, and I added a tablespoon of sesame oil. And I love the smell of sesame oil. You can get it in the Asian market. You can get it at Kroger, like I always say. And then a little bit of vegetable oil. So I put a tablespoon of the sesame oil and about a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil in there. My chicken is nice and coated with the cornstarch, and I'm just gonna put it in the pan and start frying the chicken. Actually, I think it might need to be just a skinch hotter. So that's my little test piece there. So let's give it a minute. Now it's kind of starting. So, all right, let's start adding because it looks pretty good. I'm going to start adding the rest of the chicken. I don't want to dump it all in at once. I'm just going to put it in a little bit of time. A lot of you expressed the interest in learning stuff other than Middle Eastern food, and to be honest with you, I cook all kinds of food. I never stick to one kind of cuisine, to be honest. I'm always doing something different. Now, you might have to do this in batches. If your pan's not big enough, you might have to do it in steps. I'm waiting for my daughter to get home. She should be home anytime now. Robbie went to get her. So we destroyed those spring rolls between last night and today. And to be honest with you, I'm not even really that hungry right now, but I have to cook something. So here I am. I think like it's gonna cook up nice and crispy, like that. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make some white rice to go with it. This camera is giving me problems today. I already dropped it in the floor one time. Okay, maybe that's better. Let's see. I know it's shaky, and I'm so sorry. Okay, so you can see I'm gonna have to kind of do it in stages. So I'm going to grab a plate. Let me grab a plate really quick. Okay, so this is going to be for when I have to take this out, I can just transfer it over there and then cook the rest, and then I'll put it all back in. So it's gonna crisp up. It's gonna get like a nice hard coating on it. I'm just turning them with this with the tongs. You guys can probably tell by looking at me today that I'm not quite myself. I have systemic lupus. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but it's an autoimmune disease, and sometimes it likes to give me a hard time, and there are days that I don't feel very good, and I just keep trying to plug away though and manage it. So it tends to like my nervous system and my kidneys, and every now and then it gets me knocked down. So I have to kind of really struggle through it. And today is kind of one of those days, but the show must go on, right? I have kids to feed and a husband to feed. So you guys, it's looking really nice. Now you're gonna feel like there's not enough color in this, and that's okay, because the color is gonna come from the beautiful sauce that we're gonna create to go with it. There we go. It looks really good. And in fact, the heat's just a little too high. I have it on the highest it'll go, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna turn it to medium so that I don't burn it, okay? So far, you just wanna give it a nice coat. Like get it crisp on each side. You might have to add a little bit more oil depending on how much chicken you're using. I use that 2.5 pound pack. So if you were doing like maybe 1.5 pounds, that would probably be plenty. But I always cook a little extra because, you know, I have kids and a husband. And my husband loves to eat like me. All right. This is getting nice and brown. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and finish all the chicken, and this is all I'm going to do. I'm not going to leave out any steps for you. I'm going to finish this full, brown it, put it on this plate, and then I'll come back and show you the very next step. So you don't have to sit here and watch me fry a bunch of chicken. Okay, so now I've got all the chicken browned, all right? And it's still going to have like a white look to it, but it's done, okay? And you're going to drain all the oil except for about a tablespoon. So I'm just going to go over the sink and dump a little bit of that oil out, just a little bit. I know you can't see that, but that's all I'm doing is dumping some of that oil out. Okay, and I'm going to leave about a tablespoon of the oil in with that chicken. I'm going to turn it to like medium-low heat. I don't want it too high. I'm going to add back in the other chicken into the pan. You can see it absorbed a lot of grease. I'm just going to throw that back in. And now we're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. And it's kind of going to give it a little bit of heat. I'm just going to kind of guess here, guys. 1/2 teaspoon. Okay. We're going to add in a teaspoon of chopped or minced garlic. And you know me, I like garlic, so I might add just a little more, but it calls for a teaspoon. Okay, and then fresh ginger. If you have fresh ginger, you're going to want to use about a tablespoon. If you have this kind of ginger where it's a squeeze bottle and it's kind of pureed, you only want to use about a teaspoon because it's super overwhelmingly strong. Oh yeah, ginger is super strong. So if you put too much ginger, you're going to ruin your entire dish. So I'm literally putting like a teaspoon in for all that chicken right there. So now I'm going to mix all that around gently. I don't want to break the crust off of the chicken, so I'm kind of trying to be a little bit gentle when I spoon up the chicken. I kind of use my spoon to lift it and turn it. Oh yeah, it smells so good, you guys. As soon as the ginger and the garlic hit the pan, oh, yes. Okay. Smells amazing already. So now, this is what I'm going to do. Just for now, while I make the sauce, I'm going to turn off the flame and leave the chicken just like this. Now I'm going to make our sauce, okay? And for the sauce, okay, so for the sauce, I'm actually gonna measure because I don't wanna screw up the sauce and I don't wanna confuse you guys. So we're gonna use 3 tablespoons of rice vinegar, okay? Not rice wine vinegar, rice vinegar. And it's used in a lot of Asian cooking. Yeah, it's really strong. Okay, so I'm gonna do 3 tablespoons of the rice vinegar. And then I'm gonna do, there's 2. I need to stop talking because I'll miscount. There's 3. Before you know it, I'll have like 7 tablespoons of that in there. Okay, now I'm gonna add 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. Oops, this is a new soy sauce. If I can get this off of here. I always have the hardest time. Okay, sorry guys, gotta do it. Sorry, have to do it. Can't get the darn lid off. Okay, so anyways, now I'm gonna do 3 tablespoons of soy. There, okay. And now I'm gonna add 2, I forgot to grab the hoisin, 2 teaspoons of hoisin. Let me grab that because that is really important. You cannot skip the hoisin. Okay. So remember yesterday when I was doing the spring rolls, I used the hoisin, and it's kind of like, I don't know how to describe hoisin other than it's kind of like a barbecue sauce. Kind of smells like a little bit sweeter, but it's got such a great taste to it. So we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of hoisin. Okay, if it ever comes out. It's like so thick. See how thick it is? 2 teaspoons of that. Oh, you guys can't see anything, can you? Nice. Okay, I just realized that the angle that I'm at, you can't really see what the hell I'm doing. So anyways, we'll keep moving. Let me move it over here. Let me move down here. All right, so now we're gonna add 1/4 cup of water. Just 1/4 cup. I'm just rinsing out my measuring cup. Okay, we're gonna add 1/4 cup of water to that. And 3 tablespoons of sugar. And I'm gonna use brown sugar. Okay. I'm afraid I might not even post this after I rewatch it because it seems like I'm a little bit scattered today, that I'm a little off my game. So I apologize, but you get the idea, and I think you'll be able to muddle through the recipe and make it. I feel out of sorts. I'm trying to get my groove back here. Okay, so now we're gonna do 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. And I'm gonna put that right on in there. Brown sugar is used a lot too because if they have that spicy sweet thing, you know, which I love. You don't have to do Chinese takeout, Thai takeout. You can do them at home and they taste so good when you do them at home. And I always use the leftovers for like Robbie's lunch and stuff, if it ever makes it. Okay, and now I am gonna add 1 more thing to this, and that's gonna be a tablespoon of cornstarch. And what's gonna happen, the tablespoon of cornstarch is what makes the sauce thicken up. When you put it over the chicken, that's what's gonna make it bubbly and thick, all right? So 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. I have a little bit of sugar left in there. Let me rinse that off. Rinse that and dry this little thing. Okay. Okay, and 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Now I'm gonna mix it all together. And like I said, I have a little bit of broccoli that was left from another recipe. I'm gonna use that and put it in there. I have, yesterday after I made the spring rolls, I have some leftover shredded peppers. I'm gonna throw that in there. Even though traditionally General Tso's does not have peppers in it like that, I just want a little bit of color to it today, and I feel like having a little extra veggies in my food. So I'm gonna do that. And I am also gonna chop up some green onions and top it with that. And I'm gonna make my rice. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this back on to like low medium. And I'm gonna pour the sauce right on into the pan, like so. And I'm just gonna make sure I get it all out of there. There we go. Just like that. Like that. I'm gonna give it a good little, try to coat it all in there. And that cornstarch that's on the chicken is sucking up all that sauce. So it's gonna be like a stickier, it's not gonna be so liquidy, it's gonna be more sticky. okay? So I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna kind of coat these around. It smells fantastic, you guys. Oh my goodness. Okay, so just give them a nice little coat, and you want them to cook because that chicken is not all the way cooked through. You gotta get that chicken cooked through, okay? So I'm just gonna do it like that. I'm gonna turn it up a little tiny bit so that I can get that chicken to cook. And I'll be back. I'm gonna add the veggies in a bit. I'm gonna get my rice ready to make, so I'll be back and finish it up with you. All right, guys, I added the broccoli into the pan, and you can see that the chicken is just beautiful. It's nice and sticky. It's sticking to the chicken. The sauce is sticking and making it really, oh man, it smells amazing. And I just threw that broccoli and let it kind of steam along with the chicken. I have it on really, really low. I'm debating whether or not I want to add the peppers, but I did chop up some green onion to top it on the top. Now I'm gonna make the rice. And I'm not using basmati rice. I'm using a regular white rice. This is a long grain white rice. And I'm gonna make it a little different than I would the Iraqi way because I kind of want it to be a little bit sticky because this is Asian food. It's not Arabic food. So I have 3 cups of rice in here, and I have just a teeniest, tiniest bit of oil in this pan, not like I do when I make the other rice. And I'm just gonna let it get hot for 1 second, and then I'll pour the rice in there. And for this kind of rice, you want, let me move my camera up, you want 2 cups of water for every cup of rice. 2 cups of water for every cup of rice for this kind of rice, okay? Just for this kind of rice. So I have a little bit of oil just so my rice doesn't stick to the bottom of that pan. So 3 cups of white rice, not basmati rice, white long grain rice. I am going to give it a little bit of salt because I like that in my rice, a little bit of salt. Like maybe a teaspoon or so. Put that in there, give it a good stir. Just coat it, and now I'm going to put it kind of on a medium high, and I'm going to add 2 cups of water for every 1 cup of rice. So in this bowl, believe it or not, is 6 cups of water. So in goes the 6 cups. Just like that. Give it a good stir, and now I'm going to, you know, my trusty pan, I'm going to put my lid on it, leave it on medium, and forget it until it's done. Maybe about 10-12 minutes, come back, check it, give it a good stir. If it's like, looks like it's done and it just needs to sit to get a little softer, I'll turn off the heat and put the lid on it, and that's it. So now I'm gonna go and debate whether or not I wanna add these peppers to this or not, because that's not really gentle salads if you add peppers, but I have them and they look so colorful and pretty that I'm really, really thinking about it. So, and I cut a little piece off. The chicken is cooked through already. And I want to see, it's so good. Oh my gosh, guys. I didn't expect it to be quite that good, but it's amazing. Really good. And now, if you had like sesame seeds, you could totally top it with some sesame seed. Be perfect. All right, I'm gonna go wait for the rice. I'm debating whether or not to do the peppers. I'll come back at the end. I'll post a picture of it together. See, that's really simple, you guys. I'll post the recipe because I know I'm kind of like not myself today and I'm all over the place, and it might have been a little bit harder to follow this recipe. So I'm gonna post the written instructions at the end as well. And I know if you have any questions, you can always message me. You guys have been doing amazing at making all the recipes. I'm so proud of you guys. I apologize for not being my bubbly self today, but I did have a request for Asian food, so I hope that you'll try it and make it. It has a great flavor to it. Let me go finish. I'll come back at the end and I'll post a picture of it, and I'll post the recipe so that you can make it. And I hope that it helps you guys and inspires you to give it a try. So I love you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. I wanted to show you the rice. This is what I mean about having it be a little bit stickier. If you can tell, this is a little different than the Iraqi rice. It sticks together more, do you see? Because the water ratio. So that's kind of exactly what you want for this Asian type meal is a little bit of a stickier rice. So make sure for every 1 cup of rice, you add 2 cups of water for the Asian rice, not for, I repeat, not for the Arabic rice. This is only for Asian rice, okay? All right, I'm just checking back in on this chicken. I would love to have added a little bit more broccoli. As you can see, I decided not to go with the pepper blend. I just kept it with the broccoli, and I'll probably top it with a little bit of sesame seeds and of course fresh green onion and serve it on top of the rice. And that's it, guys. That's it. Gentle So's chicken, homemade Gentle So's chicken. Easy.